for me.
Yeah, blue is winning.
He only says blue represent coolness and royalty. Amazing. Like blue, so I would have been tempted to switch to blue, but
I'm feeling cool.
You're feeling cool, right?
Yes.
Adebanke,
Calm and cool.
oh my God. Thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate this.
Baby pink. Oh,
The baby pink.
That's something. It's something.
Pink is cool as well, and it's very inviting. I think that's why people love babies.
But I think it can also be comforting. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Good.
Just cool.
Just
cool.
Blue mighty blue. Oh my God. Blue is a sweet color. So a lot of people love blue. Thank you so much. So we're going to go into, we've introduced ourselves, right?
Yes.
Okay. Good.
Purpose of repetition, because repetition is a law of
lasting
impression. So
for those who may just be joining, my name is Uwa.
I'm Dele.
He's my husband. We've been married for 21 years, and our passion, not to say passion, our passion, that is one of our passion is, with the blessing of a beautiful marriage that God has helped us to enjoy, is to also pass on the knowledge, the experiences, and the beauty of what we are enjoying as a marriage couple. So we are certified marriage counselors. We conduct marriage training and relationship trainings, and then we do consultation on relationships. So, and we're also relationship and family life coaches. We are well trained, start from trainings in Nigeria, United Kingdom, and United States of America. And today we are going to be introducing Udela Family Institute. And I'm going to be leaving Dele to talk more about.
Simply, it's just what she said before, because it's just something that had evolved into. So it's not much different. It's just that we want to take it to bigger scales, whereby the reach and the impact can also be more. She stated some of those things before. We'll be getting into training, counseling, consulting also at the same time. But the whole idea is to build a network of healthy families that can bring peace, harmony into our world. Because we know that family is the bedrock of any society. We'll get it right. Yeah, we'll get it right from the home. Then we are going to make a lot of impact out there. And I was discussing with someone even this afternoon, and we're looking at it, and I said that even when you're making impact to some children, there's a need to also be able to look at the parents, because whatever you've done to a child or a teenager or a youth, by the time the person goes back home, there's a sense in which whatever had been done is actually undone. That's okay. So exactly. So this all is multi-sided in such a way that it will be impacting the youth, it will be impacting the parent, it will be impacting singles as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So we're going to share our screen now and dive straight into the session for today. And if you have questions, please put them into the comment section, and we would be taking that.
Have you put?
Let me see.
Okay, yeah. It's there already, so.
Okay. I wanted to put on slideshow.
No, you've not done that, so it's to share.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Then we have to take it.
Okay.
Let's take it. Okay. Let me move this back.
No, let me do from the beginning.
Okay. Please, can you confirm that you can see the screen, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You can see the screen, you can hear us. That's good. So, like we said in our publicity material, we're going to be looking at growing apart. We know that in relationships and generally in life, people come together as couples, as lovers, as friends. And after some time, there's that season, because we go through different seasons, there's that season where people begin to, kind of draw apart.
Yeah.
And today we want to explore what are the reasons and what impact does it have on our relationships. And really, should we encourage people growing apart? Is it a good thing? Is it something that we should aspire, or is it something we should, find a way to kind of nip it in the bud? So today we are exploring growing apart, recognizing and dealing with this signs. So let's come together on this ride. Okay. And what we have here, just to start with as our introduction, is that growing apart in relationship refers to a gradual. It's very, it can be subtle, it can be unnoticed, a gradual emotional, intellectual, and physical distance. Distance that develops between two people in a romantic relationship, or even amongst friends and family members.
Yeah.
And I'm sure for those of us who can recall that there were some people that we used to be very close to, and you just discover that you're no longer close to them. You're not as tight as it used to be. Your communication wasn't as frequent as it used to be. Okay. And this occurs when interest, values, goals, priorities of these individuals change significantly over time.
Yeah.
It doesn't just happen all of a sudden. I've heard people say, my husband just changed all of a sudden. He's not the man that he used to be. She's not the woman that she used to be. She has just changed. I don't know what happened. Newsflash. People don't just change all of a sudden. There are gradual changes. There are gradual gaps, chasms that come into these relationships that we really most times do not notice, or if we're not intentional about, we don't know when they happen. So growing apart happens leading to a lack of shared experiences, common ground, or emotional connection. Or emotional connection. So this may result in decreased communication, decreased time spent together, and a general feeling of disconnection and detachment from the relationship. Can any of us, relate to some of these things that we mentioned in the introduction? You can just put in the comment section, and we'll be monitoring the comment section, and because we want it to be as engaging as possible. We want to bring in your experiences so that it's not just us that that is talking. So now that we have kind of looked at what growing apart means, it's a gradual disconnection. It's a gradual disconnection. Let's look at areas that couples can grow apart. Because when you're in a relationship, whether romantic or platonic relationship, or even family relationship, we have levels of closeness. And in such relationships, you are able to probably share financial information. You talk about your goals and vision. But again, so when disconnection then begins to happen, these are areas that that affect, that the disconnection is impacted.
Yeah.
So, for example, when those disconnections begin to happen, it can affect your finance. You begin to withhold financial information. You begin to just do things on your own, and you're no longer financially accountable. Then it also impacts on your goals and your visions. When that gradual disconnection, you may not know the reason why. You just discover that you tend to begin to make your own plans, make your own goals, have your own plan for your own vision, and just do things on your own. I think I need to take care of myself. I need to put things in place for myself. I need to protect myself.
Yeah.
Some things are, are responsible.
Yeah. So
I'll talk about this.
Yes. No, this just highlights on areas couples can actually grow together. So as you mentioned, grow apart. It's because of the condition that people are meant to grow together. So sorry, I think because that is sounding foreign in my head. That's why I think by default, I just said to go in that. So we're talking about areas couples can grow together, apart from finance and goals and vision. Apart. Apart from finance and goals and vision, also we have it in the area of sex and also communication.
Yeah.
And these are the other two areas that couples can actually grow together.
Grow apart.
Grow apart. Grow
apart in terms of sex.
The frequency of sex will reduce.
Yes, the quality of sexual intimacy also reduces.
So even when it happens, you know that it's done more out of obligation
mechanically,
but in most instances it reduces the frequency of sex, and people are just not interested, and that's a big deal.
Yeah.
And when we talk about communication, we'll be touching on communication practically on everything that we'll be talking about today. Communication is huge.
Yeah.
And so when there is decreased communication, when the quality of communication is no longer like what it used to be before, those are areas that's a critical part that one have to really pay attention to.
Yeah. Okay. Then another area is emotional connection. There's not that affinity emotionally. You don't even want to have that desire to spend time with the person, and everything is just kind of dry.
Yeah.
There's no affection, there's no affinity, there's no connection deep down. You're just like, I was talking to someone not too long, I think last week, and the person was like, "Oh, my husband is very accommodating. Yeah, my husband is very accommodating. Anything I want to do, he doesn't bother. He just allows me to do it." And I'm like, "Are you sure that he doesn't complain?" He said, and she was like, "Oh, whether I do my hair, whether I go to the market, anything." And for me, those are red flags. Those are red flags, because if he's doing anything, I'm usually concerned, and I'm like, what's going on? So if you're in a relationship, whether platonic, the person is not bothered about anything that concerns you, all in the name of I'm giving you space. You know that there's some disconnection happening there. Can we go back to
No, we just mentioned this. So
okay. Then friendship.
Yeah.
There's no longer. There's also when we're going to have gaps in friendship, and friendship is the bedrock of relationship. When myself and my husband, we've been married for 21 years, but we've known for about 25 years. The earlier part of our relationship, we were just friends, and that really helps us build a solid foundation, a solid rock for the kind of marriage that we're having today. So you discover that when couples begin to grow apart, that friendship, that's being able to gist, being able to be yourself, it's no longer there. Discover that you're not being guided, as if you are walking on eggshells. Okay. And then beliefs and culture. Do you want to talk briefly about that?
It's important because we hold different beliefs, we are from different cultures, and it's important that this is also noted that is one of the areas that couples can grow together, people in relationships and grow apart. And grow apart. Yes, I'm aligning now. Grow apart. Because can grow apart because misalignment has a way of putting strain and stress on the individuals that are concerned. What we've observed for 20 years of our counseling experience, we realize that people don't pay enough attention when it comes to this area. Once they say, I'm in love with this person, they allow emotion to override objective judgment, and they fail to understand this until they eventually get into the marriage. And at the end of the day, they realize that, I think I made a mistake here. And before you know it, once it's prolonged, that forms one of the areas as well where it is.
And when people's belief and culture begins to change, you know that you can no longer work together. The Bible says that two cannot work together except they be in agreement. So if I believe that men are supposed to help in the kitchen, and you believe that is not so, we're going to be having conflict. You see, so that's where growing apart begins to impact the quality of our relationships.
Thank you very much. I think Olumighty also mentioned here that lack of effective communication.
Absolutely.
That's where we mentioned the aspect of communication. Then we want to look at reasons couples actually grow apart, and we are trying to gradually get into
the meat
yes. of our discussion for today. So having seen this,
were we cut off? No.
Can you hear us, please?
Can you hear us?
Yes,
yeah. Okay, good. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so reasons couples grow apart.
Yeah.
These are major areas, major reasons why they grow apart, but we'll go more detail. But just to let us understand that one of the reasons is unresolved issues or conflicts. The other one is lack of intentionality. And the third one has to do with stress in any form that could either come from mental, work, in-laws, or children.
Even financial stress.
Yeah, even financial stress.
Yeah. And then other reasons, selfishness, taking your spouse for granted. When you begin to do things and I no longer feel appreciated.
Yeah.
You are always wanting to have your way. You're always wanting to do things that pleases you or that benefits you only. I begin to feel taken for granted, and I feel I no longer matter in the relationship. Over time, that person begin to kind of just draw back and say, man, looks like I need to take care of myself in this relationship. Okay. Then the other one is wrong use of technology to social media.
Very big.
This is a huge one. And myself and my husband, we are constantly watching together because I can tell you, we'll be on top of the same bed. I'm on my phone. Here's my phone. I'm on my phone.
And I'm also on my phone.
And he'll be on his phone. I'll do what we just. And at times he will laugh. Oh, I will laugh. And it just means that we're just in a world of our own where we are not bringing in our spouse. And we know that these are things that when you constantly build a wall of your own, then it means that you're consciously or unconsciously, you're building fences. Can we mute ourselves, please? We are building fences and then you just begin to grow apart. And so wrong use of technology and social media is a big one that causes couples to grow apart. Okay. Then the next one I'll mention is divergent interests. When couples or partners begin to develop different interests.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to go in this. I now have interest in maybe in going to gym, and you say no, you don't have interest. Meanwhile, I want to pull you along, and you're not interested.
Yeah.
It's even like there's some very deep relationship breaking interest.
And divergent interest doesn't necessarily mean is bad.
Yes.
Yeah. It's just that people are not able to manage it at that point in time. For instance, let me use this as an example. When you just get married, you might have similar interests and things are really, really okay. But as you move along in the marriage, you started enhancing your value, your professional development is coming up, then it gets to a point where if one is developing faster than the other person, interest might gradually be changing. Taste will also be changing. The kind of connection and friends that you have can also be changing.
Yeah.
And that at the end of the day, you realize that what was a common interest before, you now be having more and more interests that are that are divergent, that are not in alignment as what it used to be before.
Yeah.
And if it's not actually managed well, and sometimes what is changing is actually good, but because people fail to see it from that perspective and see how they can make it
and synergize
for the relationship to be good or better, but they are not able to get that done, and it becomes an issue. And all these points that we're mentioning here, if you look at it, we're saying reasons couples grow apart. So these are really, really the subtle sign. If you're looking at unresolved issues, it's not something that is very obvious. If you're looking at intentionality, it's not a physical thing that you can hold. Stress, is it stress? Is it selfishness? Is it wrong use of technology? Is it divergent interest? And the next three talks about familiarity, either boringness or lack of excitement, communication gaps. We're going to be talking a whole lot about it. Communication, then misalignment of vision. initially you might agree that, okay, you have a common vision. This is what we want to be in life. But how well are you able to keep that unified picture together 1 year down the line, 2 years down the line, especially when interests are you are developing new interests in certain areas. How well are you able to align that?
Yes.
So, and you want to say something?
I wanted to give an example of this divergent interest.
Okay.
Something very, very important. So before we relocated to the United Kingdom, I was one that first had the idea. And guys, we were on this thing for 5 years before we were able to make that move. Why? Because my husband didn't buy into the idea initially. And what did I do as a partner? I didn't stress it. I just kept on praying because we are God's people, we are God's children. I just kept on praying and say, I know that this is of God. And what are you pressing? You are distracting me.
Sorry.
You're dead now.
All right. That's part of what we do.
So I kept on praying. But here we are today. Yes, it took us about 4 or 5 years to eventually, align our dreams and the interest of me wanting to further my studies and moving here. But we know of couples, real life, that this same issue has caused major rift in their relationship. And they are gradually growing apart because this person wants to travel, the other person says, no, I can't, leave my job. Or so one of them have traveled and then the other person is not willing to join. Because we know the what's going on in global economy and people wanting to build a better life for themselves. So because of that, different interests begin to build in people's hearts. And if they are not well managed and harmonized, causes couples to grow apart. And then the next one is familiarity.
No. I've touched on communication gaps and this. So
you can
I'm
stop
moving
sharing now. Is there anybody? Do you want to put in the comment section? Have you had to deal with any of these issues in the past? That are we still on this life? Are we still on this webinar? Technology.
Yes, we are.
We are.
Okay. So do you have experiences that you want to share in the comment section? It's good, thank you. Do you have experiences that you want to share? Technology. We just didn't want to just be seeing only our faces, so we thought we could navigate. This is the Zoom now. We could navigate between sharing and then coming back, see our faces. Yeah, press it now. Okay.
So,
okay. Good.
Stop sharing.
No.
Okay, it's already out.
Okay.
Yes. It has stopped sharing, right?
Are we still sharing our screen?
No, stopped.
Okay.
Thank you. Right. Thank you, Almighty. So those are reasons. We've run through reasons why couples grown apart. Is there any one of them that you and your partner probably have experienced and you've dealt with? Can you just put them in the comment section and we'll just go through and, okay. Trust issues, exactly. Thank you, Sheyi Oladapo. Trust issues. Patricia, please, can you mute your iPhone?
Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. So trust issues. Thank you, Sheyi Oladapo. Trust issues too can make couples to grow apart. That's very key.
Even at the bank, Carol says couples also grow apart due to improper handling of conflicts. Yes,
absolutely.
Of what we
Absolutely. Trust issues is big. Yes, is big. So,
all right. So let me move on to the next one now. And please, I want to request if you have a writing material, that a pen and a paper, it's a good time to take it. We want to do one quick exercise.
Yes.
Like an assessment. We promise that we'll do this and we want to make sure that is done. And if you don't, maybe on your phone, within your notes, you can use it to take notes so that you can start. You can use it to start taking some of the assessment that we want to do. So let me just quickly go back to our slide now.
Yeah.
Excuse me, just a moment. All right. Let me just be back in this. Well, I'll get it there. Yeah.
Good.
So, can you see the screen, please?
If you can see the screen, please say yes in the comment section.
Yes.
Good.
Yes, we can.
Yes. Do you have your pen and paper to quickly do this assessment,
or your
phone, or anything you want to record your responses?
Okay.
So we have 15 statements here, and what we want you to do is to answer a yes or no. Please, you need to take note of how many yes at the end of the day and how many no's at the end of the day. Then we'll put it. So we'll just guide us in evaluating it. Then we can come back and say what's supposed to be.
Okay.
So you don't, when you are saying question one now, you can put statement one. You don't want to share your free time with your partner.
Not all free time. Sometimes you just
No, it will be more often. You don't want to share your free time.
You often don't want to share your free time with your partner.
With your partner, yeah.
A yes or no. And if you are in this meeting with your partner, I think they should do it separately, right?
No, it's separate. It's an individual task.
Yes. So do it separately. Good.
You don't want to share your free time with your partner. 1, 2. You feel uninterested. When we talk about the relationship now, you feel uninterested
in a lot of things. You're just lethargic.
Yeah. Yes or no. Let's have that down. Number 3, you share things with someone else other than your partner or your spouse. All right. Moving on. It's just a yes or no.
Yes or no.
So
don't rationalize it. They always say when you're doing these assessments, just the first answer that comes to you is usually the correct one.
So don't try to overanalyze it.
I missed the first one.
Hello?
Please.
Can you try to mute yourself, please? So number 4, there's little physical touch or intimacy.
Sorry, excuse me, sir. Sorry. Can we please start again, please? I need the first 2.
Okay, you missed the first 2.
Yes, please.
Oh, okay. It's on the screen.
Can you see the screen?
Can you see the screen? It's on the screen.
Okay, let me check. Okay. I can see the screen now. All right.
So I can move on with number 4. So you can just quickly read that. It's a yes or no response. Number 4, there's little physical touch or intimacy. Number 5, you keep secrets from each other. Or you're the one that keeps secrets from your partner, your spouse.
Just a yes or no?
Just a yes. We don't have people we are accountable to. We don't have people we are accountable to. Yes or no? 7, communication is stalled. Or maybe
is infrequent, fine in between.
You notice that your level of communication is reducing. It cannot be compared to what it used to be. So we can take it up from number 8.
Okay, yeah. Number 8.
Yeah.
So when you think of, are we good? Have we assessed up to number 7? It's just a yes or no answer. Okay. So number 8, when you think of future plans, you are not excited to have your partner in the picture. And before you say, oh, is this possible? Yes, we've seen so many cases. Number 9, we are not free, or I am not free to express my mind the way I like without fear or intimidation. I think that one cut off. Maybe in the process of doing the presentation. So the full question for number 9 is, we are not free, or I am not free to express my mind the way I like without fear or intimidation.
Without fear of intimidation.
Yeah, that's number 9. Number 10, we are both defensive and less vulnerable. You just say yes or no. Okay?
Don't overanalyze it, please. So let's move on.
Yes or no. If you feel alone, even when you are together, it's just a yes or no. You feel alone, even when you are together.
No.
Please,
can you mute yourself? Okay. And then number 12.
How about if the answer is sometimes?
The one that is more frequent.
Pick one that is more frequent.
That's one you should put. If it's like 60 to 40, then you pick 60. Even if it's like 55 to 45, pick 55.
All right, ma.
Number 12, you are not free to express your mind to your partner, and you are not listening to. I think here the emphasis was more on having the attention of. So please, number 12, assess it from you are not free to express your mind because you are probably not listened to. So that's what that wants to address.
Yeah.
You want to do 13 to 15?
13, you seem to criticize each other a lot.
Always finding fault.
Faults, yes. Always you're always criticizing each other a lot. Then number 14, you don't feel supported by each other. Maybe you feel that sense of it's only you doing the work and you don't feel supported. Then the last one, my partner does not understand my love language or languages.
How many do I have? Mine is languages. The first one, I love money.
No, the first one is gift. And the second one is words of affirmation. Well, gift can translate to money.
You can give money.
Because you said what love language have not been identified is the one that they attribute to money.
So we can remove the sharing, yeah?
Yeah, they stop sharing.
So how is it going to be? How is it going to be scored?
So we want you to just put the number of no's.
So it's to count it. How many yeses?
Many yeses you have.
How many no's?
But in this case, just count how many number of no's and divide it by 15. You can take your calculator from your phone.
For those of us who have P7 in maths.
The number of no's over the number
of yes. Divided by 100.
Divided by, multiplied, not divided.
Oh, sorry. You see?
Number of no's divided by 15, you multiply it by 100.
No, divided by 15. Multiply by 100. You see now? So why did not you say that?
Let's have the formula again, the question.
You said?
You said you want formula.
Is the number of no's divided by number of by 15.
By 15.
Divided times 100. So for instance, if you have to just make it easy, if you have a 0.75
again
times 100, just move those decimal points. Whatever percentage you have explains your current state. So if you are within the neighborhood of 50, you're on the borderline. And this is a measure of the state or the state of the health of your relationship. The higher the percentage, the better the health. The lower the percentage, the more it becomes concerning, especially whatever you score. If it's going from 20 and below, it becomes a relationship that has gotten to a coma state. But over 20 to half, then that place can either be at a borderline, which you can start working on to be able to move it beyond the borderline and now start moving it into a point where you can say you are experiencing bliss. This is just a one arm of so many assessment tools.
So is anybody willing to share their scores?
Yeah, I think it's good if someone can want to just share and maybe say something about it. Olumighty, 53%. Thank you for
being honest.
Honest and vulnerable. 73, Emmanuel. Okay,
good,
that's good. Good. Now, 53% is on the borderline. The good thing is it's not below 50. It means there are certain things you are doing that are in line, which we have to really identify and to encourage you that you do more of it. And there are certain things that are being done now that is not helping the relationship, which we also have to identify and start seeing how well you can work against that, so that more of what we contribute to the health is what is being addressed. Sorry, and you repeat how to calculate. Okay. So now I said whatever number of no's you've counted, count how many no's you listed out of the 15, divided by 15. If you have 6 no's, for instance, and you have 9 yes, you are not using the 9, you are using that 6 over 15, then you multiply it by 100. If you have 9 no's, then you divide that 9 by 15, then you multiply it by 100.
Thank you, Emmanuel.
So Emmanuel 73, that's a good one. Like, it means you are doing a lot of things right, and you need to.
Yeah, very intentional. Yeah.
But the beauty of this is when one is able to now have a one-on-one session and we're able to analyze it, because this is just one aspect of the assessments. There are other assessments.
There's so many others.
Because there's the love language assessment. There is the culture compatibility assessment. There is personality assessment. There is a marital assessment, and that one have a good number of statements that will even help us to understand where you are coming from. It traces whatever the current reality is to where you are coming from. They were able to identify the root cause of whatever it is that is going on in the relationship, and therefore is a wholesome thing that we normally do. That's part of what we do in terms of our counseling and consulting that we talk about.
So this is just a tip.
It's a tip of the iceberg. Before we are done, we'll be dropping the email address and also our social media handle. And if you know of anyone that you know can benefit from this, although outside this is more on the person that is a paid service, there's a way we also try to do the aspect of the ministry side that we want to give back to the society. But there's also the other part. If you have to make it in a comprehensive way, we felt we should just do that. Thank you. Ibukun Oluwa Badejo, 87%. Thumbs up.
Yeah. But I wasn't expecting anything less.
Anyway. Because we know these people. So, Sonia, have you been able to get it now? I want to be sure that you got that feedback before we move on. Number of no's divided by 15 and multiplied by, yes, that's Emmanuel helping me to echo it in the group.
Thank you.
Yes, I got it. Thank you very much. Do anybody have any question, or you want to, now we have discussed that you want to just share from your own perspective? We'll give room whereby somebody can come in. Anyone?
You want to share? You want to talk about maybe some of the reasons? Yes, we still have a lot more things to delve into.
A lot more things, yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, we are aiming to close for 8:30. So it's 7 p.m. to 8:30. So
anyone that wants to share? You don't have to raise you can unmute and speak.
Okay, can I go first? All right. Ladies first.
Okay, Patricia. Oh, okay. Olumighty said ladies first. So Patricia, you can go ahead. Then after you go to Olumighty.
Okay. I wanted to say that
if we can see your face, please. It's possible.
Okay. I'm in the kitchen.
Don't
okay, don't worry. Don't worry.
Don't worry.
So to the question, some of my responses were yes. Some months back. But it keeps getting better daily, and most of my responses now are no. My own percentage was 86.
That's good.
No, it's good. That's good. Your husband's own is 73.
Yeah.
And yours is 87. So that's good. So it's not far apart. So it is like a true representation of the current reality. And the higher the percentage, the better the health of the relationship. So we're saying
my answers were yes. Like that one that says you want to be alone. My answer used to be yes. But recently, no is the answer. So I think it's better.
And you know, the beauty of this thing is that if you take this assessment now, maybe you can help us to mute yourself. The assessment, when you take it over a period of time, because we're meant to grow, we are meant to evolve, things are meant to be better, we're meant to be more mature. When you take it again, after a few months down the line, a year down the line, 2 years down the line, there must be an appreciable growth. And that's when you know whether people are actually growing together or they are growing apart. So thank you. Thank you for being vulnerable. I can see that you are doing collaboration there. You're in the kitchen and
good.
I can see somebody also supporting. So it's not a function of it is the woman's responsibility to cook. As long as the man can eat, the man should be able to cook or support. Yeah. Well done.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So you can just mute so that Almighty can share. So
okay.
Oh, thank you. Mine, I put that on the chart. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm looking at your Superman vest.
Oh yeah, just became one now. I hope I'm like that to my missus anyway. I put in the chat for me. I think is communication, effective communication, and I think I've been. I'm married to a foreigner, so we've had that for some time, like the communication thing going between. So, and now I think with the situation of the economy here, whereby we both have to work, and she works with NHS, so she works night shift and day shift. So that aspect is always, I think, is always a big kind of like issue, and we always have at times just to understand each other, but at the same time, at times you think, oh, she's tired, if I hit this, we might go. So, but the good thing is that we've now, obviously, like you said, we grow, so we've looked for a way to meet at, a point, so that whereby we can actually find time to communicate with each other. So not when you're tired, I'm telling you stuff, or, when I'm angry, I'm telling you stuff or something. So we've managed to work that. We're still growing, and I know it's getting better. But I believe over the years, it's just been that the communication is really, we love each other so much, but there's that aspect of effective communication between knowing the right time, the timing, and the best, obviously best time to. But like I said, it's getting better. We always work hard.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Almighty, for sharing. Communication is everybody's work. No matter the phase you are in a relationship, you always need to work on communication. So it's good that you've acknowledged it, because one of the ways to move to a higher level of bliss in your relationship is being aware of where you are and the things that needs to be worked on. So the fact that you can even say, oh, you think it's effective communication, fantastic. And see, you know what? We are happy to book you on to further sessions so that we can explore further and then see how we can be of help, if you don't mind that, okay? But be rest assured that you are not the only one in that group. We all need to constantly work on our communication. Even if you think you're in the 80s, you're in the 90s, in percentile, you need to work on it to even for it to remain at that stage. If you think your score is lower, you need to work on it to move it up. So wherever phase you find yourself in a relationship, communication is absolutely key. Mother knows that I call it almighty communication. So, and by the time we delve into, the details now on how to resolve these issues or the causes of couples growing apart, you're going to see that communication is going to keep appearing in almost all of them. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you so much. And when we're talking from the broad perspective earlier, we mentioned one of the points, that's the third point about reasons couples grow together. We say stress, and stress of any form. And it was mentioned mental, work, in-laws, and children. So you've identified correctly. It's just to now say how best can we go about it? What healthy way can we adopt? Because my brother, I'm telling you, this is reality. And at some point, if it's not managed well, you can be overwhelmed and you can snap, and something that is insignificant can be turned around and be blown out of proportion. So, like she said, we can take it further outside of this meeting. We have Florence Olenka says, in the case where you don't disclose your finances to your partner because he is not
not prudent.
It's not prudent as you, and you're trying to just to save for later, not, or you want to keep that secret part. I think there are some of these questions that, because they are multi-sided, it's multi-sided, and therefore we need to dig deeper into what led to this. There's a part that we talk about cultural compatibility. There's a test that we run on cultural compatibility, and that used to reveal a lot of things. There are other assessments, we call it the tree of life. It helps us to narrow down from where you are coming from, knowing that upbringing, environments have a lot to play in an individual's life before the person even getting into marriage. Sometimes we look at the symptoms and we want to fix the symptoms, not knowing that the symptoms is simply an offshoot. The main root. Therefore, what we normally would do, we go down to the root and deal with the issues from the root. And the root, by the time you give it the necessary nutrient that is required, you could see that naturally over a period of time, the tree itself becomes nourished and it becomes flourishing at the end of the day. Like I said, we'll put our email there before the end of the day, then we can take it up even from there. Thank you for asking that question.
Yeah, and I just want to add that, Florence, marriage, relationships, life generally is in phases. So there are certain things that we know that is not ideal, but they are sometimes necessary to kind of tide us through the phase where we are currently. We don't subscribe to keeping financial secret or any form of secret from each other as a married couple. But we also recognize the fact that there are phases in marriages or relationships that probably would necessitate you doing that. And in as much as it may be acceptable for that phase, that's not the ideal thing. Okay? Because for that time, when it now comes out, the other person that is, that is not in the loop gets to find out, then begin to question. So if you kept this from me, what other things have you kept from me? And then distrust will then begin to come in. So this thing is, like Dele has said, is to find out what is the root cause. Let's do a root cause analysis. And then, profile. We have tools to help deal with issues and situations like these in marriages. So please feel free to reach out to us, and we would be happy to take you through these assessments and profile solutions if you're happy to go through with them. So yes, thank you for the engagement. Thank you for sharing. So let's move on. So we're going to go back to sharing our screen again.
So you just highlighting this. Okay, so it comes up shortly. And there we go. So just move down.
So we've talked about what it means to grow apart. We've talked about the causes and we've done the assessment. So we're going to look at, just briefly run through, the consequences, the impact of growing apart. Again, these are not things that you probably have not heard before, and we've mentioned them in the course of this webinar this evening. The first one is it brings about decreased emotional and physical intimacy. There'll be that connection will not, be taken out or reduced or becomes non-existent, and then that leads on to physical intimacy. I know for us as women, where there is no connection, it's difficult to engage in sexual intimacy with someone who I'm not emotionally connected to. So when there's a growing apart, going on in a relationship, physical intimacy is the least that come, at least from the woman's perspective. I know some men can still have sex and still want to engage in physical intimacy, even when that connection is not there, but you don't get the best, out of that situation. And then, of course, there's a lack of shared goals and interests. Everybody, wants to go their different ways. People going to plan things separately, do things on their own, build their lives, build their plans. I've heard of some people, women, especially where I come from in Nigeria, my state especially, you hear of women where they just build their houses, their husbands are not aware. And some men, you hear of them having accounts or doing things, people just, begin to do things because they feel they're no longer supported, they're not appreciated, they're not loved, and there's not that connection. So they feel, why should I keep investing into this relationship? So they just, go there, begin to do things separately and build separate interests and build separate, social, support. And of course, conflict and resentment will begin to come in. You'll get a lot of conflict, a lot of disagreement and resentment. You begin to question, why are you doing this? And then social chasm, your circle of friends begin to change because you no longer have the same interest. Like we said, we've been married for such a long time. And as our friends have been so well harmonized that even friends that I knew before I got married, now they've become family friends. Why? Because our interests are unified. We have same vision. We have same goals. We're driving towards the same thing. Don't get us wrong. The fact that we say we have same goals, it doesn't mean that I don't have my personal dream or ambitions. Career-wise, we're totally going in different direction. But the beauty is we bring each other into our plans. I'm pursuing my certifications in project management. Oh, I want to do Scrum. I want to do Agile certification. He's pursuing his certification in, PhD, higher education and all that. But we are both in the know and we are both contributing, okay? But where there are gaps, the consequences will be that you fund your dreams and yourself, you do things yourself. It's just a whole lot of, unpleasant situation to be in terms of relationship. And then there's, of course, generally, there's that level of decreased satisfaction. You no longer find joy in the relationship. And relationship is meant to be joy. I can't tell you the joy I get from just being with this amazing man, the laughs, the jokes, the goofiness, even when there is,
childish,
even when we have conflicts, the joy of being able to resolve them and, settle those things. It makes me grow and become a better person. But where there are gaps and we are growing apart, generally there's just that general aura of dissatisfaction, and that doesn't help everyone's mental well-being, physical well-being, financial well-being. Okay, so it's not a place we advocate for anyone to be in. So what's the solution? Let's move on.
So I think this way it is. We've stated earlier, so that I can just see faces. Okay, we stated earlier the issues, and one of the issues that we talked about was unresolved conflicts.
Yeah,
unresolved conflicts and issues rather, unresolved conflicts or issues. And what this, the best way I want to go about this is the devices, another device is on, is that we look at it that the solution to unresolved issues in relationships can, it varies. It can vary depending on the specific situation. But we just want to give some highlights on some of the ways we can use in resolving certain issues or pending conflicts that might be ensuing between two partners. Number one, like we said earlier before that, we cannot overemphasize communication. Mm-hmm. Communication is one of the big deal there. So we will always recommend talking about solutions now to these subtle signs.
Yeah.
We'll talk about communication, and we want to encourage that there should be open and honest communication because it is crucial in resolving issues.
Yeah.
And both parties actually need to express their feelings, mm-hmm. But no, we have to have that environment where I should be free to express my feelings. You should be free to express your concerns. You should be free to give your perspective, but not in an aggressive way, but in a calm and non-confrontational manner. This is very important. So another thing we can use in addition to the aspect of communication, because you can't talk about communication without talking about listening. So in addition to this communication, as one of the ways is that active listening and empathy are also essential. That's number one in terms of communication. Two, we need to identify the core issues. Because if you are not aware of where the problem is, like Olumaiti was saying earlier, he was able to spot on its communication. That is it. But if you are not even aware that it's communication or it is what maybe is related to stress or whatever signs that we talked about earlier, if you can't identify, then it will become a problem. So it's good that you take the time to clearly identify, not just identify, but understand the underlying causes of unresolved issues. Pinpointing the root causes can help in finding effective solutions rather than just addressing surface level symptoms. So that is why it's important that we identify the core issues. Another way we can go about when we talk about unresolved issues is to seek professional help in the event where you know both of you have tried everything possible and you know that there's no way that things are not getting better. So the best thing is to seek for a professional help. And I think one of the things that we can also do before you even seek for professional help is to make sure that there's compromise on both sides and find middle ground. This is also important because finding a compromise that both parties can agree on is actually necessary because it involves willingness to give and take. Those two words are very, very, very profound in us, or how would I put it now? It's a critical phrase that we don't take for granted. Giving and taking. It's important. And if for any reason you are hurt, please, the area of forgiveness is also very key. So let me stop talking so that she can move to the next point.
So the other point that we identified. Okay, sorry, we are still. Sorry, let me go back. The other point we identified, lack of intentionality. Lack of intentionality. And what that means is we are not deliberate the way we relate and deal with our spouses. Okay. I saw something on Instagram recently and said, if only we would treat our spouse the way we treat our phone. If you take that literally, your phone, if the battery is low, you will charge it, won't you? True or false? Please, can I have a response in the comment section? Your battery is low, you will charge it. If your phone does not have screen protector, you will buy one because you don't want it to break and the screen gets broken. If you forget your phone and you've not gone too far, that you run back and go and get it. The way we care for our phone is so, it's so amazing. You can just extend that part of in fact, I even forgot to mention the most important one, the attention we give our phone. If you give that attention to your spouse, oh my God, you will not grow up. You will not grow up. You're always inside phone. And when I say we, I'm saying we, I'm not saying you, because we are also included.
And I just chip this up before you move on. I remember that time that you mentioned something that we are already on the bed. You could imagine under the same roof, not just under the same roof, under roof, in the same room, on top of the same bed. We're having different gadgets together. At some point, at some time, she's the one that will do that. Some other times, I would do that. So it's enough. We are faced with it is. If you are very intentional, I'm telling you.
Intentional about your partner and your relationship, because these are key people. These are key things that matters. Okay. So again, be intentional. Don't neglect your spouse. Don't neglect your partner. Don't make them feel unappreciated. Communicate openly with them. Okay. Engage in, again, honest and open communication, and reflect on your personal intentions, because it's very critical. If you know that you want to be intentional, reflect on your intention. If I do this may be my intention, but how would it be interpreted? Okay. Then set shared goals. I'm still talking about how to resolve that issue of lack of intentionality in that brings about, gap or growing apart in relationship. So reflect on your personal intention and set shared goals, right?
Yeah.
Then prioritize quality time. Oh my God. See, you don't know what that thing does. It sets your brain. It resets your brain. Let me give you guys a small. Let me say something. I'll check later if we have comments in the comment section that we can respond to.
I'm checking.
Some weeks back, I was off work. My husband was off work, and we just went out, and we didn't go anywhere expensive. Just direct. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, good. And we just went out, and in a relaxed atmosphere, I can tell you that it wasn't even a date, because it wasn't. In that relaxed atmosphere, God worked on our brain. We're able to come up with ideas to move our careers and our family forward. When you are in a relaxed atmosphere, your brain is more functional. So prioritize quality time, please. Be intentional. Be present and be mindful. Yeah. Some of us, some are physically present, but they are not there.
Mm-hmm.
Your wife does not feel you, your lover does not feel you, your partner does not feel you, your children does not feel you. They don't know that there's a father in the house or there's a mother in the house. But if you are there, be there, okay? And be present and be mindful, please, and show sensitivity. These are things, if you put these things in together, it will negate that lack of intentionality in relationship. My husband is very intentional about me, and I've also learned to be intentional about him. When I wear new clothes, he will comment. The only area that we fight is because I love to cook, and I cook the best food. So when I cook, he doesn't quickly. Again, I don't think I should blame it too much, because food is so delicious. He forgets to say, this food is delicious. That's one area that we keep fighting on. Is this food sweet? You say yes. And once I say, is this food sweet? You know that there's problem, because you shouldn't have waited for me to remind you whether the food is sweet. But I think we have a fantastic relationship. I mean, myself and Dele, and it's because we've been very intentional about each other. Okay?
Yes. Thank you very much. Maybe in the comment section, something you've done before that was intentional, you can also help share in the comment section so that other people can also get, so that it's not just us that is speaking and just talking in this way.
Oh, yeah.
So the third one that we're looking at has to do with stress. Stress in any form, which could be mental, work, in-laws, children, finance, and so on. Mm-hmm. It's not limited to what is stated there.
Yeah.
And of course, we're going to be touching on communication, how you have to identify the stressors, you have to build support system, and how you have to practice self-care and also take breaks. Because if you don't take breaks, then there's a way the thing can break someone down.
I like your rhyme. If you don't take break can break you.
Yeah, it can. I'm telling you, and you don't want. Even something happened last week. I lecture in Manchester, and we live in Sheffield. And my wife also knows this. It's all about intentionality now, because at some point the stress level was so high.
Yeah.
And because I do commute as well, I say if I add commute to this thing, I can break down. We just discussed it and we agreed.
I suggested it. Please give me the credit.
Thank you very much. She suggested it.
Because I'm intentional.
I must give that to her. She suggested it because she could see it. She knows when I'm stressed out. So what I'm looking at here, if we don't do something about it, it could lead to something else. So when she suggested it, we have a family friend in Manchester. So I put up there, I stayed there from Tuesday
to Friday.
Friday, after work on Friday, that's when I started coming home. And I feel so refreshed. Maybe you would have seen me stressed out as we are having this.
I'm cranky.
I won't be cranky. I can be cranky outside of the screen, but within the screen, I know there are about 20-something people, 31 people that are watching. I will not be cranky. At least I'll form myself and behave myself very well. So sometimes stress is actually a big issue. So we can overemphasize it. Communication, we have to really talk about it. We have to talk about it. Then when you have to identify the stressors, you need to identify the specific stressor within your relationship external. Like Olumighty said, that I kept coming back to him. He said the wife, when comes back, he does night, she does day, and at the end of the day, she's stressed. So it's a stressor. So which means it's an area that we really need to now plan a strategy around to make sure that when we have important information to give, it's not at the point where the person is actually stressed that we are doing. So we have to make sure that that is taken into consideration. So still talking about stress, one of the ways you can resolve the aspect of stress is to support each other. And I think with what you've said, it shows that you're actually supporting her because you are being mindful and you're careful not to say some things why she's stressed, because you know she's stressed. And if you over push the thing, it can make her to snap or maybe be angry with you. That we talk about practice of self-care. You have to take care of yourself. Of what good will it be if you are stressed out, if you're not taking care of your health? I just gave an illustration of our own example. I have to take time for practice self-care rather, because she noticed it, she suggested it, and I bought into it, and that's what we try. Because if I'm cranky, of what good will I be to her? Then please take breaks. Take breaks.
Yeah.
And we want to say that addressing stress in relationships require an ongoing. It's not something that it's not a switch on and off. It's an ongoing effort and commitment from both partners. So by maintaining an open line of communication, identifying the stressors, supporting each other, practicing self-care, and taking breaks, you can effectively, I repeat it, you can effectively manage and reduce stress, fostering a healthier and also happier relationship. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. I have a comment in the comment section. Abayomi Badija says, my son challenged my compliment, so I'm more intentional. If I know my babies, I know them. God bless them. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing that.
So let me move on to the next one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll have to move 8:16. I want to try and close 8:30, right? Thank you for joining on. I know that you're investing, not sacrificing, you're investing your data, you're investing your time to be here. And I hope you're gaining value, please. If you're gaining value, please let us know in the comment section. I hope this is addressing one thing or the other or reinforcing something that you probably learned before. Okay. So we're looking, the next thing, the solution or tip that we're looking at is, selfishness. Don't forget that we are now looking at those things that causes growing apart in relationship and addressing them with, solutions or tips on how to handle them. So I'll quickly run through, selfishness, taking your spouse, selfishness or taking your spouse for granted. A lot of us, they say the human being is inherently selfish, and at times it happens without us knowing. Okay, so that's where intentionality would come in, and you then begin to say, I cannot take my spouse for granted. I should not be selfish. And being selfish simply means putting you first in everything, wanting to be priority at all times, wanting to have your way, and wanting to just, be the one that is the beneficiary in most situations in the home. That doesn't work for any relationship. And if that happens, there's no way that there won't be, some growing apart. Gaps will begin to occur because the other person too have their needs, they have, their desires, and they begin to find ways to those needs to be met. Yeah. So how do we tackle selfishness or, taking your spouse for granted? The first thing is, come to the awareness that it looks like I've been selfish the last couple of months, or I've been selfish this last few years. And, just come to that level of awareness and be conscious that you've probably taken decisions or acted in ways that did not benefit your spouse, and they probably benefited only you. That would be very good. Then secondly, practice empathy. You know what is empathy? And that was something that Jesus mentioned in the Bible. Put yourself in the other person's shoes. Yeah?
Yeah.
If you are the one that is constantly being taken for granted, how would you feel? I guess by the time you put yourself in the other person's shoes, it helps you to come to a place of, apology and say, oh, I recognize the fact that I've been selfish, or I have done things I probably have not fully benefited you, or have been putting my needs before yours.
And I think to communicate to the other person too that you're sensitive.
Yes. Yeah. And so practice empathy. Learn to put yourself in your partner's shoes or your friend's shoes, so that when you put yourself in, when that is done, it helps you to begin to feel a bit of what they feel. Yeah. And then practice compromise. It's not every time and every way that we must have our way. Relationship is give and take. So at times you have to deliberately say, I yield this to you. Oh, this place I want to go for vacation. Let's go to a place you've always wanted to go. Oh, this cost I want to pay for. Yours is more urgent. Let's pay for it. Or this project you want to embark on. Let's do it the way you have suggested. I mean, life is give and take. A time will come you would also, your own needs would be priority. But constantly having yourself put forward, constantly having your needs being priority does not help.
It won't help.
Does not help.
It's one-sided. That's showing being one-sided.
One-sided. And of course, be intentional. Yeah. Intentionality is very key. Yeah. Let's move to the next one. We'll just
the wrong use of technology. That's another big one, but because of time, I might cut it a bit short.
Very fast one.
Yes, the wrong use of technology. You agree with us? I think we even mentioned some stuff before now. How wrong use of technology can actually be a major concern, and I would say that with that, one of the solutions could be, setting boundaries. You have to talk to each other and agree that we have to set boundaries. Beyond this also time, I think we don't have to allow this to go beyond this time. If you set boundaries, it means you are establishing clear boundaries regarding the use of the technology. That's what we mean by that. And social media within your relationship. And it's also expected that you are discussing what is acceptable and what is not. And you mutually agree on specific guidelines. That's one. Then I will also say that it's better we prioritize your quality time. Prioritize quality time. Some of these points seems to be. It's echoing. Some of these points seems to be overlapping, but they are relevant in each of those sessions. So you have to prioritize quality time. Part of why we do that was sometimes she's the one watching over me, or let what is distracting me. Let us have this meaningful time together. Some other times it is myself doing the same to her. Then let us engage on offline activities. We are even more international now that not just us. We're saying that even with our children, some people who might have seen some of the videos, we deliberately do some activities in the home. Sometimes it's like a sports challenge, it's just a game, and because we watch a movie together. My wife, she's a very good cook. Yeah. And she's going to do it for business now. She's a very good cook. And sometimes she does something special, and we eat. As we're eating, we're also watching the movie. Please also try to monitor and limit your screen time. That's what I would say. So, but whatever you do, always remember that every relationship, I repeat that, every relationship is unique. So it's important to find the strategies that work for you. We are giving the principles and the best way to go about it. Then you look at the uniqueness in your own home and see how you can work out the strategy. Because strategy that work for you and your partner. So by setting boundaries, priorities, and what I've just stated earlier on, you can agree with us that it will give you healthier relationship in that regard.
Yeah. Right. And if you want ideas of family fun activities that won't cost you money, please contact me.
One of our friends, Anu, is fun. So that I agree.
One of my core values in life is fun. It's taken from the scriptures, because Jesus says that he died for us that we may have life and have it in abundance. So I love fun a lot. I'm able to put together fun activities that won't cost you money. Just contact me, okay? We'll put our email address. My Instagram handle is @beloved. Reach out to me. We'll plan it together. Your family will have fun, and it won't cost you. It costs you next to nothing, or just tiny, bit of whatever. But just reach out to me. All right. It's part of the things we do.
I'll use my name to send the.
Yeah. As long as we are here, we must enjoy bliss, and our families must have fun and enjoy the best of us. So while he's sending that, I'm going to talk about divergent interest. I won't stay too long on this because we've spoken about it before.
Okay, divergent interest, all right. Yeah.
So again, one of the things that causes couples to grow apart is when they begin to have different interests that they don't talk about or harmonize. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the truth is, you don't as a couple necessarily have to be interested in the same thing all the time.
Yeah.
What is needed is that each person is in the loop of what's going on in the other person's life.
Yeah.
So perhaps you're in a situation right now where you're developing different interests from that of your partner. It's not a bad thing. Then let your partner know, what you stand to gain, bring them in, and don't just isolate them and do your own thing. Some people love to go to the gym and they just, go, nobody knows where they are. But even in building different interests, accountability is absolutely necessary.
Yeah.
And then, of course, acknowledge and respect differences. People are different. I cannot always like the things you like. There are things he likes, even in terms of movie genre. He likes action movies. And, I always say that until they blow their brains off with guns, my husband will not enjoy that movie. Me, it's until they do kissy kissy and lovey lovey, that's when I enjoy it. But we both know, and we accommodate each other's interests. So it doesn't mean I must like action movies. But it means that I accommodate it when I'm planning family events. Okay, so acknowledge and respect differences. Yeah. And then and even when you have different hobbies, find a way to harmonize and get the other person into your world. Respect the other person's uniqueness. You don't have to like the same thing. Respect their uniqueness and support them. People usually draw apart when they feel they're not supported, they're not respected. Okay, and of course, communicate openly. You see, have you noticed that in everything, all those things that causes couples to grow apart? And the solution we've been discussing, communication is occurring in every one of them. So, guys, I'm saying, guys, for those of us that feel that I am a quiet person, I don't know how to talk, or I don't like talking, please, you have to learn to talk.
Come and ask me.
Yeah. He will tell you the metamorphosis or transformation of Dele from a non-talking person to a talking person. Now, even I feel if you talk too much at times. So communicate open, communicate about your interests, have honest conversation about your interests and aspirations.
Yeah.
And if you're the one that is being talking, listen attentively, please. Oh my God. You don't know what it does to a person's morale and psyche when they're talking and you are busy doing some other things. I don't know who is unmuted. Please, can you mute yourself? So, yeah. So communicate openly, have honest conversation about your interests and aspirations, and find common activities or interests. Yes, no matter how much we may say people are different, because you are married or because you're in a relationship, whether platonic or romantic, find common ground, because what brought you together initially probably would have been those common interests. So revisit those common interests. Is it like you guys used to love to watch movies before or go for the movies? Is it like you used to love to do exercises? Is it like you used to love to do brain work? Revisit those common interests that brought you together, okay? And explore them, and even explore new ones, all right?
Yeah, so let me move on. What's the time now? The time is 8:28. Have like 3 more points.
We can just take one more and leave the rest.
I think we can just take one and leave the rest. So the one that I would take
is maybe misalignment of vision.
Yeah.
Because we've spoken so much about communication.
Yeah. It's not moving now. Not streaming now.
We stop sharing and then...
Stop sharing and reshare again. Okay, so let me reshare. It doesn't turn the sound. Let me see. Yeah. So wants us to stop from here?
Just talk about it without the slide.
Okay, let me talk about it without the slide. So it's about familiarity and lack of excitement.
No, we said we are taking the last one.
Okay, just take the last one. Oh, okay, misalignment. Okay.
8:30, so let's stick to 8:30.
Okay, look, let me just take the misalignment. And in this case, misalignment of vision. Misalignment of vision. And this is very important. I noted down here because that's lack of future plans together. you will agree with us that there won't be future prospects if people are not willing to work together. The whole idea what we are saying, why people are growing apart. So we have to have that unified ultimate picture that we have for a relationship, about first of all for our individual lives that we're going to incorporate to now have for the family at the end of the day. So in this instance, because this is one of the things we've discovered and make people to drift apart, we're saying that one of the solutions is to make sure that you reflect on your own vision and goals, where each person should be able to identify what his dreams and aspirations are, and the other person too should find out. I will always talk about this, list all those things out, let the other person also list those things out, then pull them together, let it now form a unified task that the two of you have to really now
where everybody's interest
where everybody's represented. Everybody's interest is represented. The next one is communication is here, but we've spoken enough about communication. So what I also want to say here is that set shared goals. Set shared goals. It's when they are represented that it becomes shared, because you are approaching each person. She spoke about support earlier in this instance, because if this aspiration we're talking about in this instance is not directly your own, does not mean you should not be interested. And that's where the aspect of support comes in. All right. That's where the aspect of support comes in. So at this point, I think we'll have to just make a stop to that. We have to leave out the 2 points because we don't want to be too far away from 8:31.
I just want to ask everyone a question here.
Okay.
Most of us work in organizations where they'll tell you their core values, they tell you their vision.
Please make me to suffer.
Yeah, where they tell you their mission and their vision statement. So you as a family unit, do you have your family vision? Do you have your family core values? Do you have your mission and your vision statement? These things are critical, and these are things that we can help you craft.
Yeah.
Because where Bible says that where there is no vision, the people perish. They run haywire. And your family will not perish in Jesus' name. You will not perish in Jesus' name. But we strongly advocate that you come together with your partner or your spouse. And if you have children who are able to contribute, bring them together and form a family vision. And we are fully happy to support you because that's some of the things that we do. When you have a family vision that you are driving towards, then it helps you to walk, in that same direction. That's why you see organizations, they have their organizational vision. And when you enter their reception, that's the first thing you see, because that's the main driver for that organization. So one of the things I want you guys to take away from here is, what is your family driver? Or what are your family drivers? What's driving your family? What are your motivation? What are your goals? What are your vision? What's your vision? What's your core values? Okay. Ponder on these things and please reach out to us. He's going to post
posted it already.
Okay, he's posted our contact details
with my name on it, not
He's posted our contact details.
And UDELA details.
Yes. So reach out to us and we can help take you through sessions to craft these things for you, because they are absolutely important. In this generation of where children are being drawn in different directions, couples are being drawn in different directions, because we are all trying to just survive and have a good life. You need to have something that keeps you going, that is motivating you and your entire family. Okay. I hope this webinar has helped, and he's going to go through the final statement now. So let me stop talking.
Thank you so much. Overall, in all that we are saying, please always remember that growing together is in a relationship, growing together in a relationship takes effort.
Yeah.
It will take work. That's why we point out a phrase. We always say it takes work to make marriage work. So it takes effort. It takes patience and a shared commitment. Shared is a key word there. Commitment from both parties, not from one party.
Yeah.
Shared commitment to making the relationship a priority. It's important to be understanding, one, empathetic, two, and willing to work together to overcome any hurdles that may arise. Please, we would like you to join because the Udella Institute is new, it's brand new. And we want, that's why we posted it there. You have the details, the Twitter handle, the Instagram. We want to encourage, follow us, and you can drop some comments and you'll be having more of that. But like I said, I dropped it with my name on it. So I think it should be my name, but everything is there. Then with our own personal handles and also personal social media handles. On this note, we want to say a big thank you. And before we close this chapter, we might want to just give a phrase or a word of how you feel this program has helped about today's session. We really appreciate it if you can just help us. In a nutshell, just drop it in the comment section. How have you found it today? I hope it's worth your time. Just a phrase or a word, just one word.
And then you can also add if there are other areas, that concerns relationship that you would like us to address. Over time, we also bring in resource persons to take
some sessions.
Sessions. And I think one of the sessions that I would, want us to take is looking at how couples can overcome financial stress, because a lot of financial stress in our home country, Nigeria, and everywhere. I mean, it looks like we're in a situation of global recession. So if there are other areas that you've identified or you think is an area of need that you would like us to take, even if you're not competent in those areas, we will bring in, highly competent resource persons from our network to address this issue. So you could also put that in the comment section. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sonia. Yeah, thank you. Great session. Thank you. Oluronke, thank you. Has been engaging and insightful. Thank you. Ibukunlu, amazing session. With every minute. Thank you. Margaret, thanks so much, Mama Sa, for the amazing session. Thank you for joining. Thank you so much. Notice Udella Institute and private needs to be requested. Oh, is it private? Okay, we'll change that now. It's new. So yes, we will change that now.
Yeah.
And next month, we're going to have another session, addressing another area of marriage. So reach out to us on WhatsApp, on Instagram. Tell us areas you would like us to address, okay? Thank you, Abayomi. Awesome session. Thank you. Thank you so much, and have a beautiful evening. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'm coming to your house to eat as well with my wife.
Thank you so
We're gonna
much.
come.
Thank you. Bye.
I would have loved us to put on our videos and
videos before you go.
Can you take the videos and let's take a screenshot? Well, I don't know. People have gone now. Sorry, what did you say, Olumaiti?
I said I will drive over with my wife and come and taste your food. Because my brother has been talking about.
I'm in the process. Thank you. I didn't know you were here. Oh my God, you're always so supportive. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you, Benis, Akinola, Florence, Olayinka Alabi. Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This is what we should have even done. Thank you, Patricia. Shayli Oladakbo. Thank you. Who can take a screenshot? I don't know how to take a screenshot. Adebisi Falola, thank you so much, ma. Jaidara Ogunleye, thank you. Oh my God, so many people that I didn't even know joined. Thank you, guys. We are grateful. Thank you. Next month, we are going to have another exciting topic. Yeah. You don't want to miss it, okay? God bless you. Thank you. Have a good evening. Enjoy your evening. Don't grow apart. Grow together, okay?
Bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, say love your simplicity. Thank you, blessing. Thank you. See, I'm very simple. I don't have wala.
Thank you very much.